BomberTV.
Hi guys, Bomber here. Welcome back to the channel. And before we start, a huge thank you to all of my Patreons. If you want to join them and start supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description and the comment pinned down below. And with that said, let's jump into the video. So yeah guys, the deck of today is an hidden gem that I recently found. I like to call it the Aggro OTK. It is basically a Zed Riven into Noxus and Ionia deck. Kinda interesting concept. Recently we got some buffs to the Riven package. Basically the Blade Squire, basically like changing the stats from 1-2 to 2-1, much more aggressive, much more like a much better body. We also have the what's the name of the blade of Riven, just a second. The Blade of the Exile from 3 mana to 1, very like huge, like not a huge buff. It is on paper like a third of the original cost, so pretty huge indeed. But like doesn't really change all that much the gameplay of this deck, other than that if you can get to the blade very early, then it is much easier to cast the Blade of the Exile and also have some more mana for protection to your units, you know, and that's probably the biggest deal. Other than that, like it's not really like noticeable the change in mana. And also we got a new support for the Riven archetype, which is Flurry of Fists. Basically, if you can get quick attack on a unit, either from the blade or the blade fragments or some other support like Legion Drummer for example, then you can give a very powerful keyword, which is double attack, which can do some crazy stuff. This deck, it's an aggro combo deck, probably like one of the most unpopular and like more difficult also like to find an aggro combo deck and also to play them, because they are very strange. Like on the base level you have the aggro playstyle, so like, you know, you go for a very great curve. You don't really have a lot of 1-drops because, as I say, this is a combo aggro, which is much clunkier. But like if you can get the Blade Square on turn 1, then on turn 2 you have plenty of like options, for example Legion Drummer, Rune Weaver, Trifaring Seeker. And for example your opponent doesn't play anything. If you go for Blade Squire and Trifaring Seeker, that's already 7 damage on turn 2, which is completely nuts. So like, you know, you have this aggro playstyle, but like later on, the combo part is what makes this deck much, like all that much consistent. I'm currently like 80% almost win rate with this deck, so very solid. Both because it's a kind of new deck, so people don't really know how to counter it, what to expect from this kind of deck. So if you start playing it right now, you have this advantage of your opponent not knowing how to counter this deck, what to expect. Very strong, like non-meta decks, unpopular meta decks, until they become meta decks, they are much stronger because, as I said, your opponent doesn't know how to counterplay this deck. And so like, yeah, the combo part is, you know, you have plenty of options to buff your units, either with the Blade or with Might. You have the support from Rune Weaver, quick attack, so you can get for Flurry of Fists. And so, you know, those are the buff spells, basically. Then you have your units to target with all those buffs. Like, the best candidates are probably Riven. Not so much, actually. Like, Riven is probably like the 3rd or the 4th unit that you want to buff. And then there is Zed. Zed is much stronger. Zed, if you can get a Blade of the Exile on Zed, then these suddenly become... And for example, if he already is leveled up, which you can easily achieve by giving him Overwhelm with either Might or Kate on the arm. So like, you know, the Zed goes through, and probably also the Living Shadow. So Zed is easily leveling up. Then if you can level him up, the buffs of the Blade are also copied to the Living Shadows, the copy that he summons. And so this is gonna be, with the Blade, it is gonna be a 6-3 with quick attack, overwhelm, and yeah, that's it basically. And if you can get Flurry of Fists before you go for the attack, then this becomes a 7 attack with a double attack and also the Living Shadows. So basically here comes the ODK part. If you deal 7 damage from the Zed 2 times because you have the Living Shadows, so that's 14, but 2 times because they have double attack, so that's 28 damage, which is completely crazy. You can do mostly the same thing with also Shiraza, the Blade, because, you know, you have the double, basically everything that doubles the damage is very strong with double attack. Because, you know, with Shiraza, you are doubling the damage to the Nexus already with the card, and then you're doubling that again with the double attack part. The same goes for Zed. He has a similar mechanic, which, you know, you summon a copy of him, so it is a doubling effect as well. And then we have Riven, which also has this double the attack that I receive, which is not that strong, so that's why I say that it is probably the third target. Probably the best one is Zed, then there is Shiraza, and only after there is Riven. But Riven is actually more important to get the Blade Fragments. And also, like, Trifiring Glory Seeker is also not a bad option as well. Also, like, Shadow the Arm. Like, of course, whatever unit you have on board, I have had lots of games where I just buffed, for example, a Blade Squire, because you just need the attack, really, because then they're gonna have quick attack, if not double attack. Of course, if you don't have those good targets for the buffs, then go for whatever unit you need. And most of the times you have to take the risk. Like, if they don't have removal, if they don't have Ash, then go for it. Try to go for the kill, and if they have removal, bad luck, good luck next time, you know? And also, like, even if they do have removal, you still have answers to it with Notify and Deny. Also, Deny is very strong in this current meta, because we are seeing a lot of Anivia Reborn going in, as well as, you know, the Twisted Fate feeds with Mind Meld. You can counter those, like, pesky threats, as well as if you're running against any Shadows Islands deck, they will probably try to counter your strategy with a Vengeance, and then of course you have the answer, which is Deny. If they go for Veil Feast or whatever, then you also have Notify for that reason. And so yeah, guys, I really like this deck a lot. I have had a lot of success with it, and we are trying to get to Masters with it. So without further ado, let's see this deck in action with some games. So yeah, guys, as you can see, we are currently Diamond 1, probably 20 LP, if I remember correctly. We had a real huge setback yesterday. Basically, the meta was, you know, shaking from the patch, and had a really bad lose streak, I may say. But anyways, now we are here. We're up against a discard aggro. So Trifiring Glory Seeker is not gonna be very strong here, because he could have some answers, basically get excited or whatever. But like the reason why this is bad is because he's gonna have a lot of 1/1s, and so, like, you know, the Trifiring Glory Seeker is basically gonna die. Instead, like, you know, Zed and Riven are basically how can I say, competing for the third turn play. But, like, I like going for Zed on turn 3 because we are attacking, and then on turn 4 for Riven, because then she's gonna give us the Blade Fragment on turn 5. So, like, you know, you have to plan ahead, when do you want to attack, when do you want to defend, when you want to get the Blade Fragments, all that stuff, you know, you always have to consider that. But yeah, like, we see a fairly good opener, by the way, Blade Squire. Like, of course, he's also going for a very good start. Here, yeah, we kind of have to go for Blade Squire. We probably will block the 2/2s if they attack. Yeah. And, yeah, I don't really agree with this attack. Like, he's losing his pieces, basically. And also, this probably tells me that he doesn't have a crowd favorite. If we don't see much more summoning from, you know, the following turn. Maybe he has another House Spider, and then another 1-drop, for example, and then on turn 4 he's going for crowd favorite. Like, here, if he doesn't block, because, for example, he wants his units to be, you know, alive for the crowd favorite to be buffed, then the Zed is gonna hit, and you know what that means. Like, as I said in the deck guide intro, basically, that Zed is gonna kill him. Like, if he's leveled up, then the buffs go also to the Living Shadow, which is devastating. Like, here, that was probably a mistake. I should have given Overwhelm. Yeah, definitely should have given Overwhelm to Zed. In that way, he had to block the Living Shadow. Like, that doesn't really matter. Like, he probably would have blocked the Living Shadows anyways. Here, let's see if he goes for, you know, just the open attack, which would be okay. Yeah, definitely fine. Here we can actually take the damage. Like, I don't think he's gonna kill us, honestly. Like, of course we don't want to block with Zed, but then the consideration was, do we want to Calling Strike the Arena Battlecaster? Like, here we are leveling up Riven, and then we can go for Might on Riven immediately, very, very early in the game. Then Riven is also gonna give us the last blade fragment, so we can already give the blade to Zed. So yeah, here he's going for a very wide board, but you know, we like to go tall here. And that's the strength of this deck. So like here is a consideration, he could have Get Excited, so Zed is a bit like unsafe. For that reason, I would like to buff Riven more than Zed. But still, like, so for that reason we probably give the blade itself to Riven, but then we give all the other buffs to Zed instead, because that Zed is still quite threatening. So yeah, let's go for that. This already has quick attack, so this doesn't really matter, but yeah, let's go for the quick attack there. So now Riven levels up. Then the order is also important. Now we want to go for Might first, because this means more doubling of the attack. Or we could also consider not going for it, but I guess we do, because that's already kind of threatening, like really. And we could also just keep the Blade of the Exile, honestly. Like yeah, we go for the open attack, because this means that at least the Shadow is gonna be summoned, and even if he has Get Excited, this is still quite a lot of damage. He kinda can't really overlook this attack. Like this, as you can see, this is lethal. So like he has to do something about it. If he doesn't have Get Excited, then this is very, very threatening. And also the Zed is eating the board, so like keeping the Blade of the Exile for the Zed, if he, like this is basically a tell that he doesn't have Get Excited. And there he could have as well just not block at all. Just not have blocked at all, because, you know, what was the point of that? Let's keep the Blade of Exile though. Like, let's wait for some Notify, some Deny, that would be nice. Okay, Jinx leveling up. Like, we just have to survive one more turn and we're good to go. Which is gonna be not that easy. We don't have heal, unfortunately. Like, we could consider running some Spirit's Refuge, for example. Because, you know, if you can also give lifesteal to Zed, then that's completely nuts. Or even to Riven, like, whatever. Like, we go very big on attack. So, like, having that lifesteal action going could be interesting. I think we have to block here, unfortunately. We may even consider to sacrifice the Riven for the Jinx block. Yeah, I think so. We kind of have to. Here we could go for these. But then, like, you know, that Get Excited could be pretty threatening. So, like, what if we take the damage? We can't really take that, like, really. We have some backup. We could go for Legion Drummer or Rune Weaver as the Blade Wielder. And we also kind of want to go for Culling Strike. So, like, we're only taking 4 here. Even if he goes for the Super Mega Death Rocket, we are still at 4. And, you know, he has to have also Get Excited and another one. Or, you know, get another... yeah, another Super Mega Death Rocket. Okay, Vision there. Kinda bad, but still we... You know, we killed that, which is important. Here we are at 6 now. And, you know, the Zed died. So, like, yeah, we are in a kind of bad spot here. So, let's see. We still could have a shot at this. Like, if he doesn't... Ooh, that was probably a misplay. I should have waited on the Rune Weaver, because this is gonna die from the... You know, the Super Mega Death Rocket. Yeah. But yeah, guys, we could still be fine. If he doesn't draw a Get Excited, the Legion Drummer is still hitting and winning us the game. So, like, you see here is the strength of this deck. Like, you have to have removal. And if, for example, we draw Notify, then he's completely dead. He can't answer this. Like, yeah, the Rune Weaver was kind of unnecessary in the first place anyways. Like, we just need 1 unit. 1 unit, we go tall, we go big, or we go home. And in fact, like, this is the case here. Ooh, also Flurry of Fists. So, like, we can go for a kind of crazy finisher there. So let's see this combo in action. Like, again, guys, if he doesn't have Get Excited, we win. It's important to cast the slow speed spell immediately, because if he gets the Super Mega Death Rocket, it is gonna kill the Legend Drummer, you know? So this is probably a tell that he does have you know, the blade, not the blade, sorry, the Get Excited, but we have to try it, guys. Like, there is no going back here. Let's see if we also get the +2 attack. We don't. And yeah, we have to go for Flurry of Fists. And this is a good game if he doesn't have Get Excited. Like, he top-decked that. If he top-decked that, that's the only way we are losing here. Look at this Legion Drummer. 16 damage there. And also, like, wow. Is this a bug? Like, this has both quick attack animation and double attack animation. Are you seeing this? This is definitely a bug. Kinda crazy. No, he's dead. Let's go. Guys, if he's thinking so much about it... No, no, please, no. Please, no. No. Draven's willing that. Okay, then we kinda lost there. That's pretty nuts from him. And you know, we didn't have Nobify, Deny, stuff like that. So yeah, it's kinda unlucky. First lose of a win streak. So definitely not the best way to open the video, but we are probably gonna, you know, have a better luck next time. This deck, as you saw, he had the correct answer, but if he didn't, then this deck was winning. Okay, so now we're up against Twisted Fate feeds. This should be interesting. He does have some removals, probably more than the deck that we faced before, but we do see a Nopify, which is kind of better. We want to Reforge, and but you know what? Like, we want to have a consistent open, like an opener, a consistent opener. Nopify is gonna be good, but for example, we would like more Deny, because we could also counter the Mind Meld if that happens. Calling Strike could be okay against his Twisted Fate, not so much against his feeds, because of course he can counter the spell, so it's not advisable to cast removal on feeds. We do see a Zed, which is very strong here. We missed that 3-drop, we are also attacking on turn 3. We do have that 1 mana for whatever we get, which is the Glinting Blade Fragment. So like, here we could already kinda, you know, force the hand of our opponent to block that Zed, which is gonna be very, very threatening. Flurry of Fists as well. So like, you know, we could go for a very early Zed with Flurry of Fists as well, but that's probably not the case here. If he has a Mystic Shot immediately, like, that would suck quite a bit, but I think we have to take the risk. So he's thinking, probably he has it. So he doesn't. And then we can force, as I said, his hand. Like, it's not... you kind of want to block this. We could have actually faked. Like, if we didn't buff it as well, our opponent probably would have not blocked. That's my guess. And if he didn't, then the Zed would have leveled up, and you know what this means, you know, the Flurry of Fists incoming. So let's see, next turn we kind of want to keep mana for the Nopify. So yeah, he blocked the Fits dies, and we still deal 5 damage. The Zed is getting through, at least 1. So probably on turn 7, our third attack, fourth attack, I mean, third attack because we didn't attack on turn 1. We could be winning. So like, that's our goal. We have to protect the Zed until turn 7. Rune Weaver, so another, you know, it would be nice to get the blade. I have 3 Deny, by the name. And he's not running Ionia, so like, not so convincing. Zap Sprayfin. So like, you know, since we are kinda safe, because now we know that he can't have removal, we could be going for Shiraza. But then, like, you know, we are not seeing Overwhelm yet, and the Shiraza is probably gonna die to the Ballistic Bot. Instead, if we play the Rune Weaver, we can block on the Ballistic Bot, so we are taking less damage. It's a much safer option. Yeah, let's probably go for the safest option, because, you know, we're already winning with Zed, so we don't need to put more meat on the, you know, on the, how do you say it in English? That's probably a saying in Italian, which I don't know how to translate literally on in English. Here we could also go for Triangle Seeker. We do have the quick attack, so yeah, let's go wide on the board a bit. We can challenge that. We can get rid of the pesky elusives that we don't want. Weapon healed as well. So yeah, now we can have the blade. We want to have it on turn 7, so that's perfect. Unfortunately, no overwhelm yet, but this is looking very nice. We are even happy, you know, just passing there. I want to give the mana open for, of course, for Notify. But even if we pass, we keep 3 mana. We keep that for the Flurry of Fists, which we know it's coming at some point. Here, he can't avoid the Zed going through, because as I said, even if he has the Mystic Shot, we have Notify. We could have gone for a weapon healed to, you know, even put even more pressure on him. But I wouldn't like to spend all my resources to only then be countered, for example, by a double Mystic Shot, you know. And, you know, this is already kind of threatening. 9 damage. He kind of has to block with the Ballistic Bot, which is gonna suck a lot for him. He's probably gonna block there, yeah. And then there is the Mystic Shot incoming, but we do have the answer. Sweet up. I see. Then we can now weapon healed to complete that trade. And this is definitely a Mystic Shot. Better luck next time, buddy. So yeah, we trade everything. Then we do see the overwhelm a bit late. We still do 6 damage. So this is looking fine. And now we can only get excited to remove the Zed, which is definitely possible. But then, like, you know, he's still basically wasting his whole turn to remove this Zed. We still have a 5-1, very threatening on the board, and now next turn is coming Shiraza. You know, we have a secondary unit that we would like to buff. And as I say, the Zed is the first best unit to buff, then we have Shiraza. So, like, that's pretty close. Then if we really need to, then there is Riven, as we saw in the previous game. So our opponent is probably thinking here if he wants to resign or if he wants to continue. I mean, he could still have some ways to get back into the game. Maybe a Twisted Fate red card, you know, taking care of the Triangle Seeker, and then going for a Mystic Shot there. That would be kinda... It would be pretty hurtful for us. Or maybe, you know, he's just resigned. Okay. By the way, resign is probably a chess term. I should use... how do you call it? Surrender, yeah. So let's see. I'm very curious of what he's gonna do here. Like here, honestly, we can just pass. Maybe we can preemptively go for Flurry of Fists, just to, you know, not waste the mana. Barbelfish, that would be also kind of bad. Maybe he can kill us. How many spells did he cast? Iterative improvement on that, wow. That's pretty creative. So he wants to get rid of our Zed. Pretty nice idea. Then yeah, guys, I still think we go for Shiraza. Whatever he trades, like we're still playing the with the Barbelfish. So we see that. We're still going for the blade, but we have to wait for his attack first. Wow. He does have a lot of wiggly Barbelfishes. That's kind of bad for us. Like, if he has another one... I wonder why he went for iterative improvement on that. Like, he could almost kill us. He could have, you know... like, wish for a get excited. If he went for wiggly Barbelfish, another wiggly Barbelfish, then iterative improvement on that, then that's already 10 damage. If you play also the Daring Poros, you know, that's 12. Instead, now he's missing on 4 damage, so we will be at 6, which, you know, it's much safer, of a safer range from... Ooh, he does have it, wow. But now he can't go for those, so like, it goes at 10, it does 10 damage, we are at 4, still out of the range of Get Excited. It would be, like, it would suck a lot to just lose to this kind of madness, a lot of burn, like, you know, we are kind of getting to our win condition pretty fast, so like, it would suck a lot. So yeah, let's go for the blade at slow speed preemptively, when we know that our opponent can't do anything. So like here, we know that if he has removal, then it is get excited, you know? So this is... do we really want to go for Flurry of Fists? Like, this is still dealing 3 times 2. Like, the question here is that, do we want to go for Kato? Like, probably that's a waste of time. I don't really know, guys, here. I think we go for the, you know... We hope that he doesn't have Get Excited as well. That's our best best option there. And we still can get back into the game anyways, because if he uses the Get Excited there, then next turn he probably goes for the open attack, and we Calling Strike the one weekly Barrelfish, and we are still at 1. So let's see if he has the answer here. Wow, that's a lot of damage. So he's searching. That's okay. Like, come on, if you top decked Get Excited from the Ramage, like, that's completely crazy and unlucky for us. Sweet up, no, that's not enough. Right. Well played. So finally we did see the OTK combo there. Pretty nice, guys. So as you see, this deck is very fun in my opinion. That's also a consideration. You know, the deck has to win, but then you also have to consider that are you having fun with the game? And honestly, yes. Like, this deck is very consistent for me and a lot of fun. So definitely try it out. It's a new meta deck in quite a while. I think so. Obviously time will tell, but you know. Remember my name when you will see this deck as the S tier deck, top meta deck, whatever, and share the word that this deck was made by me, because like last season, I'm not like 100% sure, but like even last season, I was one of the first to play Lucian Kalista instead of Lucian Nekarim, and still like no one knew about me, you know. I was the one that made that deck. And, you know, the same goes, for example, for Twisted Fate Feeds. I know the player that made that deck, but it's pretty, like, unpopular. And it should not be that way. Like, if a player makes a very good deck and all the big streamers are using it, at least give credit to the smaller streamer or whatever. So please tell that that was my deck if you see it on ladder consistently. So yeah, guys, that's it. If you enjoyed the video and want more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, turn on the notifications, otherwise YouTube won't notify you of my content. Also, enter my stream so that you can interact with me live, as well as entering the Discord server so that you can interact and stay in touch with this amazing community that we are building. All the links that I just said are down below in the pinned comment and in the description, as well as also Twitter and Instagram. So that's it for this video. Hope you liked it and find it useful, and as always, see ya!